Hello, my name is Paul McCarthy. I'm one of the co-founders of Thrive Themes, and in this very quick video I'm going to demonstrate to you why Thrive Ultimatum is hands down the best scarcity plugin on WordPress right now, and how your audience absolutely going to love it if you promote this to them, and you'll make a ton of money and a ton of sales. So the best way for me to show you this plugin is to give you a very quick demonstration, so that's what I'm going to do now. When you install Ultimatum on your WordPress site, you get this card in your Thrive dashboard, and you can access Ultimatum. In your Ultimatum dashboard you have this new campaign, and immediately it pops up this wizard. So we already have 3 preset campaign templates that users can choose from, so if they want to get bogged down with creating their own campaigns from scratch, they can choose one of these things and be up and running in no time at all. We will be adding more of these pre-made templates going forward, so that users can get up and running very, very quickly. So that's one thing to take note of. That's something that your visitors will absolutely love, having these pre-set up campaign templates. But for the sake of demonstration, I'm going to show you how to build a campaign from scratch. So I click on Build from Scratch, click Continue. I'm going to demonstrate how to create an evergreen scarcity campaign for a product. So I'm going to pretend that I'm setting Ultimatum. So I'll just call it Ultimatum Evergreen. This is just for internal use, so you know what campaigns you're running. So immediately you're taken to the dashboard, and here you'll notice this thing. It says next step, select a campaign type. This walks our users through the process of setting up a campaign, so it's very, very easy. It's like a step-by-step process. So your users don't need to be worried about not being able to set this up. It's very, very easy. So as it says, I just click on edit, and immediately I want to talk to you about these campaign types. So Ultimatum has 3 campaign types currently. One is site-wide campaign with absolute date. So if you're selling something between the 13th and the 20th of May, then you can choose this one. If you're selling something at a discount, or you have a special offer that happens at the end of every month, or every year at Christmas, or every Easter, this is for recurring promotions. So if you have something that repeats, you can set this up. The most popular, I think, is going to be this site-wide evergreen campaign. This is triggered not by time, but by user actions. So maybe somebody signs up to a newsletter, and then that triggers a countdown campaign, a scarcity campaign for them to purchase a product. Or maybe they visit the site for the first time, and that triggers a campaign for the first 7 days. For this demonstration, I'm going to set up an evergreen campaign, and initially I'm going to set this for 5 days. I'm going to ignore these options here and come back to them later. The other important thing I want to talk about is the trigger type. So this means what starts the campaign. Here I want to draw your attention to this. This is a Thrive Leads conversion. If you have Thrive Leads installed on your site, it will seamlessly integrate with Thrive Leads, so that if somebody signs up through a Thrive Leads form, it can then start a scarcity countdown. That is ridiculously difficult to do unless you have the Thrive suite, and this integration between our products is one of the key points that you should take note of. Setting up something like that where somebody opts in over here on one of your pages and it triggers a countdown over here, 2 separate products talking to each other like that, that is really, really powerful. And if you didn't have the Thrive tools, that would be very difficult to set up. We also have 2 other options for triggering a evergreen campaign. We have first visit to site. So if the visitor lands on your site and hasn't seen a campaign before, then they will start to see it. Or if a visitor visits a specific page. So for this demonstration, I'll keep it very simple. So I'll put first visit to site. Click save. So we know now that we're going to start a scarcity campaign when somebody visits our site. But we don't know, we haven't specified where the countdown will be displayed on the site. So then here it says next step, select a display mode. So I click on edit. And this is a very similar interface to Thrive Leads and Thrive Clever widgets. It's a bit scrunched up because I'm running at a small resolution here, but you can basically target any piece of content on your website at all. So you have posts, pages, page templates, post types, archive pages, front page, error page. You can display a countdown on any page or any combination of pages or pieces of content that you have on your site, period. It covers everything. Let's have it on front page, all posts on all pages. Save and close. So now we've told Ultimatum where we want the countdown to be displayed. The next thing, it says next step, create a countdown timer design. Now we need to set up what is displayed. So we click on new design. A very simple option appears. Do we want a countdown to be displayed in a top ribbon? Do we want a countdown to be displayed in a bottom ribbon? Or do we want a countdown to be displayed in a widget? You can choose any one of those. So I'm going to choose top ribbon, click continue. The next message that pops up, choose the template for this design. So you just click where it says to click, and this will look familiar to you if you used any of our Thrive products before. This is the Thrive editor. Out of the box, we have 6 templates for top ribbons, bottom ribbons, and 6 templates for widgets. Thrive landing pages also had 6 templates out of the box. It now has over 140. So you better believe that we're going to be growing this template library over time. That's something that you should definitely tell your audience. We have 6 templates, but that will grow. They're all beautifully designed, all mobile responsive. So you just click on a template that you want. So I'm going to click on this blue one, click choose template, and now you can see the template. I'll collapse the editor, and as you know, with Thrive editor, you can just change everything. So you can see how in 2 minutes I've just completely changed that template, and it's completely customizable. So it's exactly the same editor that's used in Thrive Leads and Thrive Content Builder. So I click Save Changes. I like that. I'm happy with that design, and I come back to my dashboard here. So now I can start my campaign, and there we go. I have a very simple campaign setup. If I open a new window and I visit the site, there it is. There's my ultimatum campaign running. Okay, so that's a very basic example. Let's crank this up a notch. Okay, let's say, well, I want to change the design if it's in the last 24 hours of the campaign. I'm going to come into here where it says design, click on the edit button. What I'm going to do is add a new state. 24 hours to go. I'll give it a name. Click on save. So now I have a new state of my design. It's a copy of the original, but what I can do is I can go in and I can just add elements to it, and I'll do something like hurry, only 24 hours left. This is massive because you're basically adding extra scarcity on top. The last 24 hours in a scarcity campaign can be the most profitable time. So by adding this, it can really boost the results of the campaign, make it really big. So I save that now. So now I've got a new state, my 24 hours left state. I come back into here and I want to introduce you to the timeline. So if I want to change the state of something depending on where it is in the campaign, I can just add a new event to the timeline. I'll say this event starts 1 day before the countdown reaches 0. What I'm going to do is I'm going to modify the design. So the top ribbon here should change to the 24 hours to go state. Correct. Done. That's just added a new event in the timeline. Did you see how quick and easy that was? In other plugins, this is either impossible to do or really hard to do, really annoying. In our plugin, just 2 minutes is all it takes. And I can do another one. I can add 6 hours left. So I add a new state here. Okay, I just made a very simple change there. I don't want to waste too long with the design. I come back into here, add a new event. Okay, 6 hours before it reaches 0. I'm going to change the top ribbon to 6 hours left. There we go. In the space of 2 minutes, I've just added a pretty smart countdown campaign that switches states depending on where it is in the timeline. That's pretty smart by itself. But you know what? Let's take this up a notch. Let's take this up another level. Let's add a new design. Instead of having a top ribbon and a bottom ribbon, that doesn't really make much sense. Let's have a widget. I'm going to continue. I'm going to add a widget to my site. Okay, my widget has just been added, and as usual, it says choose the template for this design. So I'm going to go in, and you'll notice that we have the same matching template sets for widgets. So here I just choose the matching template, load that, and of course that's going to load into the live editor. So I can make changes again. So let me add the product image here. I will not waste your time by spending too long on this. Okay, so I've created those 2 states. I can come back into my campaign settings here, and I can modify the timeline to show the widget as well. So I click on the timeline, add a new design, widget, main state, save that. Then I modify the 1 day to go, widget, 24 hours to go state, save, and I modify 6 hours to go. Widget, 6 hours to go. Save that. So now I set up the widget to be displayed in the promotion as well. So the final thing you need to do is go to Appearance and then Widgets and actually add that widget to your content. So here I am on my widgets page. I can scroll down to the bottom and there's an option Thrive Ultimatum. Click on that, add that to my main sidebar. I'll drag that to the top and then I can just simply select the campaign that I want to display. Click on Save. Okay, so how does that look in the front end? Well, let's have a look. I refresh this page and now we have our ribbon at the top and our widget down the side. They're all operating on the same timeline and they will both switch 1 day before and 6 hours before the final countdown ends. That by itself is already above and beyond any of the other scarcity plugins that you will see out there. Okay, so let's ramp this up even further. If somebody purchases a product, I don't want them to see the advertisement anymore. So how do I handle that? Very, very easily. Come down to where it says conversion events, add a new conversion event, and let's say if a user visits the thank you page for a product, that means they must have purchased. So I click on visit to conversion page and click find the page that I've created, thank you for purchasing. So if a user lands on the thank you for purchasing page, they will no longer be shown the advertisements. I click on continue. So now I can choose to end the campaign or I can move to another campaign, and this is another really powerful thing. You can string campaigns end to end. So if somebody purchases one product and then you want to start an advertising campaign so that they can purchase an upsell or another product, you can do that. You can click on move to another campaign and then create your new campaign. For the sake of this demonstration, to keep it simple, I'm just going to end the campaign. So if somebody purchases this product, they will no longer see the countdown. Okay, so maybe you're thinking, can I integrate this with my autoresponder so that I can send links to people on my mailing list and that can trigger a campaign? Well, absolutely. This is what the Activate Lockdown feature is all about. So I can come back and I can edit this campaign and I can activate the lockdown. And again, I can choose between a Thrive Leads conversion or a visit to promotion page. So for this example, I'm going to click visit to promotion page. If I click save, that's going to activate the lockdown campaign settings. And I click on this, and let me explain the magic of this. If you're running a promotion to somebody, you can create a link in your email follow-up series that they will click on, and that will redirect them to a different page depending on where they are in the campaign. So let me give you an example. We've just set up a 5-day evergreen campaign. If the user hasn't triggered this evergreen campaign yet, if the user hasn't seen any advertisements yet, they can go to a pre-access page URL. Now usually this would be a sign-up page. So I've created a pre-access page. This is what a pre-access page might look like. If the user is already in the promotion and has triggered the start of the promotion and the campaign is running, we can add a new page here, which generally that would be the sales page. So let me just add the sales page here that I've created. And this is an example of what it would look like. Here you see I have a custom sales page for the product. If, however, the countdown has expired and it's ended, we can send them to another page. So that might be, for instance, a sorry we have closed page, like this. So you created the 3 different pages that the users will be sent to when they click the link. And here you can choose which autoresponder that you have. So if you click on aweber, it's going to generate a link that you can paste into your aweber emails. So you just click on this, it's going to copy that link, and you can then go and paste that into aweber. So what that means is that it's a very clever way of redirecting a person to see a certain type of content depending on where they are in the sequence. One of the great things about the lockdown campaign is it's absolutely bulletproof. It doesn't matter if the user changes their browser, their IP address, or their device. If they click that link in the email, the countdown will be accurate to where they are in the campaign. It can't be cheated. One of the other things I should cover in this video is that you can have multiple campaigns running at the same time. I briefly touched on this earlier, but this is massively powerful because it means that you can target different people depending on where they are in your buying cycle or prospect cycle. So for instance, you could run a new campaign for new subscribers and then run another campaign for people who have purchased a particular product of yours and another campaign for people that purchased another product of yours. You can run unlimited campaigns. If Thrive Ultimatum detects that a certain visitor qualifies to be shown more than one campaign, then you can actually order the campaigns in terms of priority. So let me give an example of that. Let me create a new campaign right here, and for the sake of simplicity, I'm going to create one of the templates. So now if I go back into the Ultimatum dashboard, we have two offers here. If we decide that if one person qualifies to be shown both of these offers, we can just move these in order of priority. So top left is highest priority, so this will be shown first and this is less. If I move this over here, this one will be shown above this one if a user qualifies to be shown both. That is another level of complexity of logic that you just do not get in any of the competitors, the competing products for scarcity plugins. So this has been a very quick demonstration video, but I just want to cover what we've been through here. We've created a very simple evergreen campaign in about 5 minutes using beautifully designed mobile responsive templates using the live editor. We then modified that so that it showed a different version of the template for 1 day and 6 hours before closing. We then added a conversion event so that the advertisement wouldn't show for people who had purchased the product. We then added a widget as well as a top ribbon so that we had multiple ads showing at the same time. We then talked about the lockdown settings, about how a user is redirected depending on where they are in the countdown. And finally, we spoke about adding multiple campaigns, tying them together and ordering them by priority so that you can have multiple clever campaigns running at the moment and the Ultimatum will automatically determine which is the best one to be displayed. Already here you have a market leading product by miles. If you went through those features and sold those to your audience, you'll make a lot of sales, I promise you. But I also promise you this is going to be developed hard over the coming months. There's lots of features we want to include, want to increase the templates, we want to improve the lockdown features. There's just so much stuff that we're going to improve over the next couple of months. And you don't need to take my word for it. Go over to changelog.thrivethemes.com and see how we develop our products. This is going to be no exception. It's already market leading. Just imagine what it's going to be like in 6 months' time. Finally, I want to say thank you for jumping on board this launch. Really appreciate your support. I'm looking forward to sending you a bucket load of money in return for supporting our awesome products. Thank you very much.